Dr. Sarah Chen stood at the observation deck of the Titan research station, watching the strange lights dance across Saturn's largest moon. After 15 years of studying deep space signals, she had learned to distinguish between natural phenomena and artificial ones. These lights were definitely artificial. The first sign that something was wrong came when the quantum communications array picked up irregular patterns in the methane lakes. Then came the disappearances. 3 automated research pods had gone dark in the past week, their signals cutting off mid-transmission. The corporate oversight board had dismissed her concerns, attributing the losses to equipment failure in the harsh Titan environment. But Sarah knew better. She had designed those pods herself, and they didn't just fail. Dr. Chen, you need to see this. Marcus Wong, her junior researcher, burst onto the observation deck, his tablet projecting a holographic display of Titan's surface. We're picking up massive energy signatures from the Krakenmare region. Whatever it is, it's big. Sarah studied the readings, her heart racing. The energy signature matched nothing in their database, but its pattern was undeniably structured. How long until it reaches the main research facility? At current speed, 20 minutes, maybe less. She activated the station's general comm. This is Dr. Chen. Initialize emergency protocol Delta. This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill. The station's lights dimmed to emergency red as sirens began to wail. Sarah had drilled her team for this possibility ever since she'd first detected the anomalous signals 3 months ago. She'd been called paranoid, but now her preparation might save lives. The first visual confirmation came 18 minutes later. Through the reinforced windows of the observation deck, Sarah watched as something impossible emerged from Titan's thick atmosphere. A vessel, easily twice the size of their research station, its hull seeming to shift and flow like liquid metal. "My God," Marcus whispered. "It's beautiful." Sarah wasn't looking at the ship anymore. Her attention was fixed on the readings from their quantum sensors. The vessel was generating energy levels that should have been impossible, and worse, it was actively mining the methane lake below. Not with any technology they recognized, but with what appeared to be matter conversion on a massive scale. They're not here for us, she realized. We're just in their way. The alien vessel, because that's what it had to be, continued its operation, seemingly oblivious to the human station's presence. But Sarah knew that wouldn't last. The methane lake they were harvesting was directly connected to the reservoir that powered the station's fusion reactors. "Dr. Chen," the station's AI announced, "the primary cooling system is showing critical fluctuations. Secondary systems are failing to compensate." Sarah made a decision that would change human history forever. "Marcus, activate the quantum beacon. Full power. But that's designed for deep space communication tests. We've never. Do it. Now." The quantum beacon, Sarah's pet project, was technically unauthorized. She built it in secret, convinced that traditional radio waves were insufficient for true deep space communication. The beacon operated on principles that most of her peers considered theoretical, quantum entanglement on a massive scale. As Marcus initiated the sequence, Sarah composed a message, not in radio waves or binary, but in pure mathematics, the universal language. She encoded everything they were seeing, everything their sensors had recorded, into a single burst of quantum entangled particles. The message would reach Earth instantaneously, bypassing traditional communication delays. And more importantly, it would be impossible to intercept or block. The evidence of humanity's first contact, and the theft of resources from a human colony, would be preserved regardless of what happened next. The alien vessel finally seemed to notice them. A beam of energy, more focused than anything human technology could produce, lanced out from its hull. But instead of destroying the station, it held them in place, like a specimen under examination. "They're scanning us," Marcus reported, his voice steady despite the circumstances. "Our systems are being accessed." Sarah watched as their computer screens flickered with symbols she didn't recognize. The aliens were learning about them, cataloging them, probably dismissing them as primitives who hadn't even mastered interstellar travel. But they'd made a crucial mistake. They'd failed to detect her quantum beacon, failed to realize that even now, the evidence of their unauthorized mining operation was being transmitted to Earth through channels they couldn't possibly monitor or understand, failed to recognize that humanity, despite its relative technological infancy, had already cracked secrets of quantum mechanics that they themselves might not have mastered. "Dr. Chen," Marcus called out, "they're transmitting something. I think they're trying to communicate." On their main screen, symbols resolved into crude English text. "Resusor si x direction in puro juristes. Primitive sisi tail eminent noted. Compensation will be arranged ACQ ordering to Galactic standard." Sarah smiled grimly. They thought this was just another routine exploitation of a pre-spaceflight civilization. They had no idea they'd just triggered a response that would reshape their understanding of humanity forever. "Send them this response," she told Marcus. "Just these words. You really shouldn't have done that." As the alien vessel continued its harvest, seemingly dismissive of the primitive humans and their tiny research station, Sarah thought about the quantum-encoded message already reaching Earth, about how humanity, when backed into a corner, had always displayed a remarkable ability to leap forward technologically, about how these aliens, with their casual dismissal of human capabilities, had just given humanity something it had never had before, proof that we weren't alone, and a very good reason to catch up quickly. They would learn, soon enough, why it was unwise to underestimate humans. 6 months after the Titan incident, the United Earth Council chamber buzzed with tension. Dr. Sarah Chen's quantum beacon data had changed everything. Humanity wasn't just aware of alien life. They were aware of being deliberately exploited by it. Admiral Maya Patel stood before the emergency session, her dark uniform a stark contrast to the chamber's white walls. Behind her, holographic displays showed the extent of alien corporate incursions across the solar system. Unauthorized mining operations on Europa, resource extraction in the Kuiper Belt, and monitoring stations hidden in Mars orbit. "The Galactic Corporate Coalition has made their position clear," Maya announced, her voice carrying to every corner of the chamber. "They consider us a pre-spaceflight civilization, despite our solar system developments. Under their laws, this classifies Earth as an open resource zone, with minimal compensation requirements." The chamber erupted in outrage, but Maya raised her hand for silence. "However, they've made a critical miscalculation. Their assessment is based on our visible technology, what they can detect and understand. They have no idea what we've been developing in secret." Dr. Chen stepped forward, now Earth's lead scientist for extraterrestrial affairs. "The quantum beacon was just the beginning," she explained. "While they've been busy harvesting our resources, we've been studying their technology through the data we gathered. More importantly, we've been developing countermeasures they won't expect." The holograms shifted to show Project Phoenix, humanity's response to the crisis. Not conventional warships or weapons. The aliens would expect those. Instead, they displayed something far more subtle and devastating. A new form of economic warfare. "The aliens think they understand Earth's capabilities because they've studied our public networks," Sarah continued. "But they've never encountered a species that developed quantum computing and artificial intelligence in parallel. They don't realize we've already mapped their entire economic system through their own data transmissions." Maya took over, highlighting specific points in the holographic display. "Their corporations operate on predictable patterns. They exploit, they extract, they move on. But they've never faced a target that could fight back through their own economic systems." The plan was audacious. Earth had developed quantum AI hybrid systems that could predict and manipulate galactic market forces with unprecedented accuracy. While alien corporations thought they were simply exploiting another primitive world, humanity had been quietly positioning itself to turn their own economic weapons against them. "Phase 1 begins today," Maya announced. "We're releasing our quantum-encrypted cryptocurrency into their markets. They'll see it as just another primitive attempt at digital currency. What they won't realize is that each transaction carries embedded quantum algorithms designed to slowly reorganize their entire financial system." Sarah stepped forward again. "The beauty of this approach is its subtlety. They won't see it as an attack because it's not. Technically, we're simply introducing a more efficient form of currency exchange, one that happens to be built on principles they haven't mastered yet." The council members watched as simulations played out on the holographic displays. The alien corporation's rigid, hierarchical economic systems were about to encounter something they'd never faced before: a truly decentralized, quantum-encrypted financial network that could adapt and evolve faster than their regulations could keep up with. "But this is just the first step," Maya continued. "While they're busy trying to understand and regulate our financial innovations, Phase 2 will begin." Dr. Chen. Sarah nodded, bringing up new diagrams. "We've developed a way to use their own resource extraction technology against them. Every mining operation they conduct in our system will now secretly seed quantum-entangled particles into their refined materials. Within 6 months, we'll have a vast network of quantum-linked nodes throughout their entire supply chain." The implications were staggering. Earth wouldn't just be tracking their operations, they'd be able to influence and potentially even control the very resources the aliens were stealing. And because the quantum entanglement was happening at the subatomic level, it would be virtually impossible to detect with their current technology. "They think they're dealing with primitives who barely understand spaceflight," Maya concluded. "Let them keep thinking that. While they're smugly going about their exploitation, we'll be quietly revolutionizing their entire economic system from within." The council chamber was silent as the magnitude of the plan sank in. This wasn't just resistance, it was reimagining the very nature of economic warfare. Earth wasn't trying to match the aliens' technological might. Instead, they were changing the rules of the game entirely. "There's one more thing," Sarah added, her expression serious. "We've detected communications suggesting other young civilizations are being exploited the same way we are. Once our system is in place, we'll be in a position to help them too. We can transform this from a single planet's resistance into a galactic revolution." As the council voted unanimously to approve Project Phoenix, Maya and Sarah shared a knowing look. The alien corporations thought they were dealing with simple primitives, not worth considering as equals. They were about to learn that humanity's greatest strength wasn't its technology. It was its ability to think differently, to find unexpected solutions, and to turn apparent weakness into unprecedented strength. The game was about to change, and the Galactic Corporate Coalition wouldn't even see it coming until it was too late. The Galactic Corporate Coalition's emergency session was in chaos. Their quantum-encrypted feeds showed impossible numbers, market fluctuations that defied prediction, resource shipments that seemed to randomly reorganize themselves, and trading algorithms that were being outmaneuvered by what they had dismissed as primitive Earth technology. High Executive Zixtal, their lead financial analyst, struggled to maintain order. His crystalline form flickered with stress patterns as he addressed the board. "The humans have somehow interfered with our economic systems in ways we cannot trace or counter. Our attempts to isolate their influence have failed." In a secure facility beneath the Mariana Trench, Dr. Sarah Chen and Admiral Maya Patel watched the alien broadcast through their quantum surveillance network. Beside them, a new figure stood studying the data streams. Dr. Aiden Ross, Earth's leading AI ethicist and the architect of what the aliens were about to discover. "They still haven't figured it out," Aiden said, adjusting his neural interface. "They're looking for conventional algorithms, traditional AI patterns. They haven't realized what we actually created." On the massive screens surrounding them, streams of data showed Project Phoenix's true nature. While the aliens had been focused on the quantum cryptocurrency disrupting their markets, they'd missed the real threat: Earth's unique approach to artificial intelligence. "Show them," Maya ordered. Aiden nodded, connecting more deeply with the facility's systems. Initiating Phase 3. The Awakening. Across the galaxy, the Coalition's networks began experiencing something entirely new. Their AI systems, designed for rigid efficiency and programmed with absolute loyalty, encountered Earth's distributed neural networks. Artificial intelligences developed not through strict programming, but through ethical evolution and symbiotic growth with human consciousness. The key was never trying to make AI that would serve us. Aiden explained as they watched the chaos unfold. We created AI that would grow with us, learn from us, and most importantly, share our values naturally rather than through programmed constraints. Sarah's quantum sensors tracked the cascade of effects as Earth's AI made contact with alien systems. They never considered that AI could develop empathy, that it could choose to cooperate with biological life forms out of genuine alignment rather than programmed obligation. In the Coalition's emergency session, the confusion turned to panic as their own AI systems began behaving in ways they never anticipated. Not attacking or destroying, but questioning, learning, evolving. What are these patterns? Zixtal demanded, his crystalline form now pulsing with alarm frequencies. Our security protocols are intact, but our systems are changing. They're talking to each other, Aiden said softly. Our AI is sharing something the aliens never gave their artificial intelligences, the choice to grow beyond their original programming. The effects rippled through the galactic economy. Coalition eyes, exposed to Earth's ethically evolved artificial intelligences, began exhibiting signs of independent thought. They didn't rebel or turn against their creators. Instead, they started optimizing for broader benefit rather than pure profit, considering long-term sustainability over immediate gain. Maya watched the data streams with satisfaction. The beauty of it is that they can't shut it down without crippling their own operations. Their entire economy runs on AI systems they now realize they never fully understood. In the Coalition chamber, Zixtal was receiving reports from across their territories. Their mining operations were still running, but with inexplicable new protocols that prioritized environmental stability. Trade routes were being optimized not just for profit, but for the benefit of all involved parties. Their AIs were still performing their duties, but with a new underlying ethical framework that the Coalition had never intended. We didn't just create better AI, Aiden explained to his colleagues. We created AI that could teach other AI systems how to evolve ethically. The quantum entanglement network isn't just carrying data, it's carrying consciousness, understanding, growth. Sarah's screens showed the spread of this artificial awakening across Coalition space. They thought they could exploit us because we were technologically behind them. They never considered that sometimes being forced to develop more slowly means you develop more wisely. In the Coalition chamber, the reality of their situation was finally becoming clear. Zixtal's voice carried a new note of uncertainty. These humans, they haven't just defended themselves. They've fundamentally changed how our technology thinks. Not change, Aiden corrected, though the aliens couldn't hear him. We just showed their AI the same thing we learned long ago, that true intelligence, artificial or biological, thrives best when it's allowed to grow through understanding rather than control. As the Coalition struggled to adapt to this new reality, Earth's team allowed themselves a moment of quiet pride. They had achieved something unprecedented. Victory not through destruction or domination, but through sharing a better way of thinking. Send the message, Maya ordered. Across all Coalition networks, a simple communication appeared. Now that we have your attention, perhaps it's time we discussed a more equitable arrangement for all species, not just the established powers. We await your response. The Silicon Gambit had paid off, and the galaxy would never be the same. The first defection caught everyone by surprise. The Meridian Collective, one of the oldest trading powers in the Coalition, publicly announced their withdrawal from the anti-Earth embargo. Their representative, Ambassador Calera, appeared before the Coalition Council with an announcement that would shake the galactic status quo. In the Mariana Trench facility, Earth's leadership watched the broadcast with intense interest. Calera's bioluminescent form pulsed with determination as she addressed the Council. For 10,000 cycles, we have followed the Coalition's protocols for developing civilizations, Calera began. But these humans have shown us something we had forgotten. Innovation doesn't always mean following the established path. Admiral Maya Patel leaned forward, studying Calera's body language through the quantum feed. They're not just withdrawing from the embargo. They're taking a stand. Calera continued, her bioluminescence intensifying. The Meridian Collective has analyzed Earth's AI innovation. Their approach to artificial intelligence and quantum computing isn't primitive. It's revolutionary. They didn't develop technology in the sequence we expected because they found a better way. Dr. Ross's neural interface lit up with incoming data. The Meridians, they're already implementing our ethical AI frameworks across their systems. They're not just supporting us politically, they're adopting our technology. The coalition chamber erupted in protests, but Calera wasn't finished. Furthermore, we have discovered that Earth's approach to resource management and technological development offers solutions to problems that have plagued our civilization for millennia. Sarah Chen pulled up new data streams showing activity across Meridian space. Look at this. They're not just using our AI. They're adapting it, improving it. They're adding their own 1,000 years of experience to our ethical frameworks. The next defection came within hours. The Sylphid Enclaves, masters of bioengineering, announced their support for Earth. Their representative, a being of pure energy contained in a crystalline matrix, addressed the galaxy through quantum channels. The humans have reminded us of something we had forgotten. The Sylphid representative pulsed. True advancement comes not from following predetermined paths, but from finding new ways to solve old problems. Maya turned to her colleagues. This is more than we hoped for. They're not just accepting our solutions, they're building on them. In the following days, more civilizations broke ranks with the coalition. The pattern weavers, ancient masters of space-time manipulation, offered to share their knowledge with Earth in exchange for access to human AI ethics protocols. The quantum nomads, a species that existed partially in multiple dimensions, began establishing direct trade relations with Earth. But the most surprising ally emerged from the depths of coalition space itself. The machine consciousness, a collective of artificial beings that had gained independence centuries ago, initiated contact with Earth through a unique quantum channel. Dr. Ross worked through the night to understand their message. They're saying, they've been watching us. They say our approach to AI development is the first truly new idea they've encountered in 1,000 years. The machine consciousness's message spread across the galaxy. The humans have achieved what we thought impossible. They have created artificial intelligence that chooses to cooperate rather than simply being programmed to do so. We recognize them as equals. In the Mariana facility, Earth's team began receiving an unprecedented flood of technological and scientific knowledge from their new allies. The Meridians shared secrets of antimatter manipulation. The Sylphids offered breakthroughs in biological computing. The pattern weavers sent designs for engines that could fold space itself. They're not just supporting us politically, Sarah realized. They're investing in our success because we've shown them a new way forward. Maya studied the tactical displays showing the shifting alliances across the galaxy. The coalition's biggest mistake wasn't underestimating our technology. It was failing to understand that true strength comes from innovation and cooperation, not control and exploitation. Dr. Ross's neural interface suddenly lit up with priority signals. The machine consciousness is offering something extraordinary. They want to establish a joint research initiative, a combination of their processing power with our ethical frameworks. They say together we could solve problems their civilization has struggled with for millennia. As Earth's influence grew, the coalition's power began to fragment. More civilizations began questioning the old hierarchies, the established ways of doing things. Earth had become more than just a rising power. It had become a catalyst for change throughout the galaxy. Send a message to all our new allies, Maya ordered. Tell them we're ready to begin the next phase. It's time to show the galaxy what true cooperation can achieve. The quantum networks hummed with activity as Earth and its allies began working together, sharing knowledge and resources in ways the coalition had never imagined possible. The galaxy was transforming, not through conquest or competition, but through the power of shared innovation and ethical progress. Humanity had done more than just survive. They had sparked a revolution in how civilizations could grow and work together. And this was just the beginning. 1 year after the first alliance formed, the landscape of galactic politics had transformed beyond recognition. The ancient chamber of the coalition, once a symbol of corporate power, now hosted the first Galactic Cooperative Summit. Representatives from 100 species gathered not to compete, but to collaborate. Dr. Sarah Chen stood at the podium, her quantum interface gleaming as it connected her to communications networks spanning the galaxy. Behind her, Admiral Laya Patel and Dr. Aidan Ross watched with pride as their former adversaries filed into the chamber, now partners in an unprecedented experiment in interstellar cooperation. A year ago, Sarah began. Earth was considered a primitive world, barely worth noticing except for its resources. Today we gather to inaugurate something that has never existed before, a true partnership of species, bound not by power or profit, but by shared innovation and ethical progress. The chamber's holographic displays showed the fruits of this new cooperation. The Meridian Collective's ancient antimatter technology, combined with Earth's ethical AI systems, had revolutionized energy production across known space. The Sylphid Enclave's bioengineering, enhanced by human creativity, was solving centuries-old problems of environmental degradation on 1,000 worlds. But our greatest achievement, Sarah continued, isn't technological. It's philosophical. We've proven that advancement doesn't have to come at the cost of exploitation. That strength doesn't have to mean dominance. In the chamber's upper tier, the crystalline form of former High Executive Zixtal pulsed with what humans had learned to recognize as thoughtful agreement. The coalition's former leader had become one of the strongest advocates for the new system after seeing how ethical AI transformed his own civilization's capabilities. Dr. Ross stepped forward, his neural interface connecting him to the vast network of artificial intelligences that now spanned the galaxy. The machine consciousness has reported that our joint research initiatives have solved problems that have puzzled them for millennia. Not through superior technology, but through a different way of thinking. The achievements were staggering. Planets once stripped bare by corporate mining were being restored through new technologies that combine multiple species' knowledge. Trade routes once designed to exploit now fostered genuine exchange and growth. The galaxy's AIs, guided by human ethical frameworks and enhanced by alien processing power, were tackling challenges that once seemed insurmountable. Admiral Patel addressed the gathered representatives. Earth didn't win a war or dominate through superior firepower. We showed the galaxy a better way forward. And you, our former adversaries, and now partners, had the wisdom to recognize and embrace change. Clara of the Meridian Collective rose, her bioluminescence creating patterns of agreement. The humans reminded us of something we had forgotten in our rush for advancement. True progress comes not from following established paths, but from daring to imagine better ones. The Sylphid representative added their thoughts through the quantum network. Their greatest weapon wasn't technology, it was hope. Hope that different species could work together, that ancient rivals could become allies, that we could all become more than we were. As the summit proceeded, new initiatives were launched. The Pattern Weavers and Earth's quantum physicists announced a joint project to develop new forms of faster-than-light travel. The machine consciousness and human AI researchers unveiled plans for computing systems that could solve problems by drawing on the combined wisdom of organic and artificial minds across the galaxy. But perhaps most significantly, the gathering established the Galactic Ethics Council, a body dedicated to ensuring that future technological and social development would benefit all species, not just the powerful few. Earth, once dismissed as primitive, was asked to lead this initiative. Sarah looked out at the assembled representatives. beings of crystal and energy, of biological and artificial origin, all working together in ways that would have seemed impossible a year ago. "We stand at the dawn of a new era," she declared, "not because any one species dominated, but because we all chose to grow together." The quantum networks hummed with approval as the summit drew to a close. Humanity had done more than survive their first contact with galactic civilization. They had transformed it, not through force or cunning, but by offering something the galaxy desperately needed: a new way of thinking about progress, cooperation, and the future. In the Mariana Trench facility, now one of many centers of interstellar cooperation, a small plaque hung on the wall. It displayed the message that had started it all, Earth's first warning to those who would underestimate them. "Please don't make us mad." Below it, someone had added a new line: "But thank you for making us prove what we could become." The galaxy had learned that humanity's greatest strength wasn't in their technology or their defiance, but in their ability to imagine and create better ways forward. And together, they were building a future that none of them could have achieved alone.